Welcome to the show. I'm Tosh Taylor.
And I'm Jenna Morton. And if you are watching, you already realize that we are on location again for today's episode, which is always so much fun.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like a sneak peek at a place that is just about to open. So come along for the ride. We are at the new location for Atlantic Wellness with Andrew LeBlanc, the Executive Director.
Hello, thanks for having me today.
Of course, congratulations on the new space.
Thank you very much. It's been an exciting few months getting ready for the move. So.
Yeah.
Tell us. Oh,
yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to point out the obvious blue tape around the room. That's how new we're at this. This isn't Andrew's decorating. It is this fresh.
Yes.
Smells like paint still.
I mean, I was going to leave it to decorate like that, but I guess not now.
Oh, sorry.
I thought it was artsy, but...
You had your daughter come in and do it.
Yeah.
Like, your daughter's not even young enough to blame it on her
she's not,
anymore.
no.
She'd be
No,
like,
that's
she'd
true.
have much
That's
better
true.
taste than
she
that.
She would also be ashamed of that, yeah. Yeah, this is our brand new office for Atlantic Wellness. We've been in a growth phase for a long time, so for anyone who doesn't know, we provide free mental health counseling for youth ages 12 to 21. We've been expanding a lot over the last couple of years. I think it's no secret that the demand for mental health services has been rocketing, especially after the pandemic. Regulations have ended for the pandemic, but I think the residual impact of mental health and everything that took place with the lockdowns is going to be around for a long time. So the demands for mental health support have not been higher in a long time. So our organization was in a place where we needed to expand. We've added more people to our team. We're trying to reach even in more young people than we have in the past, and so it was time to move on to a new building. And so we're now at 50 King Street, and we're excited to be welcoming clients into our new space, almost finished painted space.
Tell us a little bit about the size of the organization now. You know, it started with, 2 or 3 people really, back more than 10 years ago. Where are we at today in terms of how many counselors and your capacity?
Sure. We opened our doors in 2012. We had 2 therapists. It was the founders, Leslie Smythe and Danielle Whalen. We're fortunate Danielle is still with us. She's our Director of Clinical Services here. So 2 employees then, a small board of directors, and now we have 9 people on staff, plus we have 4 interns at any given time. So our team is a lot bigger than it used to be. This new space allows us a little bit of growth opportunity. We're hoping to bring in new interns. With that program, we bring in students who are doing their master's in counseling psychology. They have to do an 8-month practicum. And so they can do it with us, carry a caseload. It keeps our costs low, and which is the name of the game in the nonprofit world. And we're able to reach even more young people that way. So it's been pretty exciting to see the organization grow. We started in Riverview in a little stone house on Coverdale Road, and then move over to Lute Street. And we outgrew the Lute Street property fairly quickly. I think faster than anybody was anticipating we were going to outgrow it. And so love the building, love being there, but it was just time to be able to expand so that we can really meet the needs of the community when it comes to youth mental health.
And you have kept it central. So from Lute's over to King, it's really not that far. Easy access for anybody who needs to come over from Riverview or in from Dieppe or what have you. So you've made it completely accessible. Are you still offering, so the last time we spoke to you, you guys were offering online services as well. Is that still a thing?
It is, yeah. So there's multiple ways you can access counseling with Atlantic Wellness. So obviously in person is the number one, but you can do video, text, or phone therapy as well with the organization. And so we just want to make it as easy as possible. You know, for young people who might be dealing with social anxiety and not really comfortable going out in person, then you still have those virtual options to be able to access services in whatever way you're most comfortable with.
And do you still have outreach programs happening?
We do, yeah. We have a dedicated therapist now to outreach therapy, and so she does carry a caseload here. But right now we're partnering with Youth Impact at their Youth Quest program, and so we provide on-site counseling at Youth Quest for their clients. I think it's 2 days a week that we're there now. So an important service, because when kids can't get to you, it's important to try and make sure that they're not denied access to mental health. And so we're really excited about being able to partner with Youth Quest and making sure that we're on site to support the youth who are there as well.
And for anyone who isn't really familiar, you know, we're talking about youth and free access, but some people are probably really questioning, well, is it really, like, what's really free these days? And what does youth, you know, who are the youth that this serves? Can you talk a little bit just about how accessible the programs are for people?
Sure, yeah. I mean, Atlantic Wellness as a nonprofit organization, our goal is to eliminate any and all barriers to accessing mental health support. So the telehealth piece was a part of that because obviously during the pandemic, nobody could go anywhere. So, but the financial barrier is another big one, and it can be really costly to access mental health services. You know, it could range anywhere between $150 to $200 an hour for a therapist, and so we want to make sure that those services are available at no charge. So if you're a parent or a youth and you're watching this now, you will not pay anything to come and access mental health therapy with our organization. So that's one-on-one counseling. If you're participating in one of the groups that we offer, everything we do is free of charge. We're fortunate to be in Greater Moncton because this is a very giving community, and we're only able to do the things that we do because of the amazing support we get from the community. We just finished a multi-million-dollar fundraising campaign this year. It wrapped up, and so that's sustaining us for a couple of years, but it's because of donations and campaigns like that from amazing donors in our community that we're able to offer these services for free to young people. And so I have a bigger building now, so I need more of those donations to help pay for the expansion that we've gone through. So it's always a challenge in the nonprofit world to be able to pay for things like that, but the mandate is to make sure there's no barriers to accessing services, because the slightest little thing can be a hiccup or prevent a young person from wanting to reach out. And when someone says, I'm ready to ask for help, you got to be ready. And that's the biggest problem we have in the mental health system, is that we're not always ready. And so we want to make sure that when you come to Atlantic Wellness, you're in right away, and yeah, it's as easy as possible.
Mm-hmm. Now, you said you just finished up, you know, that large campaign, which it helped you guys move into this new location, but we can't stop there just because you said it will sustain you for a couple of years. That doesn't mean don't make donations for the next couple of years. That means we really need to keep it going, because you do have more space, more staff, which means more kids, etc.
Bigger rent to pay.
Bigger rent, yeah.
Years, so.
I wasn't going to say it, but yes, that's what I was thinking. So what are some other things that you're doing to make these donations happen?
Well, we have lots of things on the go, and certainly a couple of things over the next few months that people can look for. We have an annual giving campaign that's going to come up. It's a campaign we do every year just to reach out to individual donors and community support. But the biggest one we have is our Monster Trot fundraiser. That's we didn't dress up today.
I
We
know.
I was
the last
more
time we
focusing.
did this, yes, the last time we did this, we went out in
did.
full costumes. But
I dressed as a politician today. So
It's working.
there you go.
oh, look, we dressed as TV hosts.
I guess this is more garden party attire than it is anything. I don't know,
Yes,
but
very dapper gentleman
Yeah,
in the
I like it.
1930s.
yes.
Just get you a fedora and we'll be all set.
That was a missed opportunity. Yeah, we should have discussed wardrobe before.
We really should have.
Anyway, Monster Trot is coming up on October 21st. It's an annual fundraiser that we do. It's a Halloween fundraiser. Lots of different local businesses will support or sponsor a booth, and then kids and families can come and go trick-or-treating around from booth to booth and get some candy. It's $15 admission to get in, and so this is the biggest event-based fundraiser that Atlantic Wellness does. It's a lot of fun for the family to come out, and Halloween themed, and so kids can dress up and parents can dress up, and yeah, it's a really good time.
It's a fantastic time. It is one of my favorite Halloween things that happens in Greater Moncton, and has been, because it's been, this is the 11th year for the fundraiser, which is, my oldest is 12. We have been, this is part of our family tradition. I was looking back at photos today, actually, of the various times that we've gone to Monster Trot. We've gone to almost every one. Mm-hmm. There are some where I'm like, I'm sure I went, but I can't find a photo right now. But it's so much fun, not only to get your kids out trick-or-treating in an environment that's during the day and on your schedule, and you're not worried about getting home in time for bed. And it is the displays you guys put together year after year are just incredible. Yeah. It is such a fun experience to go through, and to see the whole community coming out dressed up. That is my favorite part, other than what the money is being raised for, is just to see all the costumes. And like you said, so many families come out dressed up together that I absolutely love it. It is so much fun to go to.
It's a really great community event. You know, it brings people together, and it's good for awareness for Atlantic Wellness too, because obviously it's a youth-based event, and so at some point they may have to access services here, and good to spread some awareness about the services that we offer to families in town. But yeah, it's a great Halloween alternative, and yeah, we're excited. We're looking forward to it.
I like that you're hosting it early this year as well, having it's about a week before Halloween, or the weekend before Halloween kind of thing, which is nice, because we all know when Halloween falls on a weekday that the weekend prior, people are going to be going nuts with all of their events. So if you're having it the weekend even previous to that, I think that's fantastic. Also, the fact that it's indoors always makes it doubly awesome, because sometimes Halloween in the Maritimes is not the greatest weather. So you can always be like, well, we already did Atlantic Wellness, so we're good. We don't need to go out tonight. We've got
No
enough.
worries about making sure you have a costume that, you know, a snowsuit can fit under.
That's
So
right.
true.
That was
So
I
If
think
you're
that was
going to
more of
bail on
ours.
Halloween, though, don't blame Atlantic Wellness.
We will.
Don't
No,
tell your
we,
kids,
no,
like,
it's not blaming. We'll be like, hey, we already
all
did
right,
it. We
Johnny,
already
we
have
went to
lots.
Atlantic Wellness. No Halloween for you this year, so.
But trust me, you can get as much candy going to this event as you would taking little ones around a neighborhood, for sure. I'm always just in awe of the amount of candy that gets donated for you guys to give out, because that's another piece of this event. So if you're watching, you're listening, and you're a corporation or an organization, you can get in on this by sponsoring some of the candy stations as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still looking for sponsors for the different booths. We're still looking for people to donate candy. And so you can reach out to us through our website or via email, or call the office, and we would love to have you on board as a sponsor or a partner for the event. So we're really excited. We're welcoming a new presenting sponsor this year. It's Greenfoot Energy Solutions. So we're really excited to welcome them to Monster Trot. They'll be professional Monster Trotters
They have
in
the
no
perfect
time.
mascot for it.
They really
right?
do.
They really
Yeah.
do. The Yeti, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a sweet deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very exciting for sure. So we got some new faces around the table, which is great, and we're hoping to have a great turnout from the public as well. Tickets are on sale now. We do online sales, but you can buy at the door if you want. But if you're interested, you can go to atlanticwellness.org and buy tickets online.
You should. I love being able to buy tickets in
Yes,
advance
in
online
advance.
for things now. It is just so much easier. And then you're like, there, it's on the schedule. I'm going to go because I bought the ticket. And yeah, it's just, we're getting to the stage where my kids are a little less interested in trick-or-treating. They still want the candy aspect, and they still like to talk about dressing up, but they're not as into dressing up as they used to be. So now I'm just like starting to push them. I'm like, well, you know, you can always help with these kind of things. You can come. We can put on costumes. We can hand out candy, and they're not quite there yet, but.
I mean, I can relate to that. I think I'm more interested in the candy at this point than I am the dressing up too. But
I am pretty sure the last time we did this interview, you had candy for us, and
it was one of the casualties of the move. We used to have an ottoman in our old office that was filled with candy, like just the leftover stuff that we opened. But unfortunately, it didn't make the cut when we made the move. So
unbelievable.
I
All the
know.
more reason that.
Sacrifices, right?
Yeah.
You just, all in the name of youth mental health.
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
So let's go back to talking about Atlantic Wellness and the services that you guys provide. You did give us an age range at the beginning. You start at what age?
12.
It is
we
12.
Go all the way
Okay.
to 21.
Okay.
And so we certainly get lots of requests for outside of that age range. And one of the things we're seeing is a big increase in demand for under age 12. At this point, we don't have capacity for that, but it's certainly something that we've been looking at. But within our circle of care, we offer a number of different services. So obviously, one-on-one counseling is the primary service that we offer. To support that, all of our intake happens through our mental health clinic. So it's kind of like an after-hours medical clinic. So you can call in on a Monday when the phone line opens and get an appointment for that day, or if that day doesn't work, later in the week. And it's that immediate access to a therapist. And if you want to be assigned a therapist long term, you can do that as well. We do have a short wait list. But while you're waiting, you can access the clinic at any time. So once you're in with Atlantic Wellness. At no time are you without access to mental health support, which is a really great system to have to make sure that you're never alone. And outside of that, we do a lot of psychoeducation in the community. We do presentations to classes on, test anxiety and depression and dealing with stress and social media and a whole bunch of different things. So a lot of educational pieces like that. And then, we do some support groups as well based on the demand that we're seeing from clients, and a lot of advocacy on mental health change and things like that. So there's a whole array of wraparound supports and services that we include in our circle of care just to make sure that you're getting the best, most holistic, which is the biggest buzzword ever, but holistic approach to mental health support. So
I'm wondering if you can talk just a little bit about, what kind of demands you're seeing. You've said obviously there's been an increase after the pandemic. What are some of the issues that seem to be really striking a chord with local youth these days that they're looking for help with?
Sure. Coming out of the pandemic, I think there was a real amplification of anxiety, depression, a lot of the things that we were seeing before the pandemic, but just really heightened. So we saw a lot of that. We're seeing an increase right now in mental health challenges around some LGBTQ issues. Obviously, certain things that are happening in our province have led to an increase in anxiety. And so we're definitely looking at trying to support young people as they're trying to navigate some of those things. And there's a lot of uncertainty around what certain policies might mean and things like that. And so it has had an impact on our young people. There is an increased amount of anxiety that's gone with that, and so we're trying to support youth as best we can there. And so I think, we've seen an increase both in numbers of youth coming out to try and access services, but also in the frequency that youth are coming as well. So during the pandemic, youth who might have been once a month wound up being once a week. And so the frequency increased a lot, and so I think we're still seeing some residual impact of all of that as well, and it takes a little longer to get through the lists sometimes than it may have before, but thus the need for the increase in our expansion and services that we do here.
If you were a teen that was watching or listening to this right now and you were concerned about confidentiality, and not between your friends, but what about parents? You didn't want your parents to know that they were accessing your care. How does that work? Do you have to be, like, if you're 12, do you have to inform the parents?
Yeah, so they're under 16, you have to have parental consent.
Okay.
Over 16, you can provide your own consent and come in for sure. That said, there's a certain amount of confidentiality that goes into what we do. So if you come in and you disclose something that, there's some self-harm or you're in danger physically, and obviously things like that are going to have to be relayed. We have to let parents know about stuff like that. But in order for the therapeutic process to really be effective, there has to be some level of confidentiality. So we try and explain that to parents as they come in so that they can anticipate, like, I'm not going to know everything my kid says in session. Because maybe sometimes young people are trying to navigate the parental relationship, or maybe they're struggling with certain pieces of that, and they just need some support to work through it. And it's important for young people to know that they can speak in confidence. But under 16, you do need parental consent to come in. So.
Okay.
I'm wondering if you can, maybe looking back over the past 10 years or so, talk about what's changed in terms of people's attitudes towards accessing mental health. Have you seen a shift, and are you seeing any kind of current shift in that?
I think there's definitely been a shift. It's talked about a lot more than it used to be. I think in the public discourse, it's much more of a priority than it's ever been. I think when you look at the demand from the public on the government to provide mental health resources, people are crying for that a lot more than they ever used to. And there's much more of an expectation on provincial and federal levels of government to invest in mental health resources. So I think that part of the conversation has changed a lot, and people are recognizing how important it is to take care of your mental health and for those services to be provided. We've had great conversations with our provincial colleagues in terms of the support they provide us. We are fortunate to receive some funding from the provincial government now, and I will never stop asking for more. Surprise. And but I think it's a very positive thing that people are talking about mental health more than they ever have been, because it makes it more accessible to young people. It's less daunting to be able to say, you know, I think I'm struggling with something. I'm gonna go talk to somebody about that. And I think we as adults in the community can lead by example in that. You know, even in my social circle, we're very open about those of us who access, you know, I go and see a psychologist myself. I look at mental health as going to my doctor for a checkup, right? Like, even though there may not be something traumatic happening in my life right now, but it's still important to check in on your mental health, just to debrief things that are going on. And so the more we normalize accessing mental health services, the more we normalize talking about it, the easier it's going to be for someone to say, okay, I'm ready to ask for help. And yeah.
So this television show is broadcast obviously throughout the province. If you were someone that was living up in Edmundston or, you know, Bathurst and what have you, you do have remote and virtual. So are we province-wide or Greater Moncton?
Yeah, formally we're southeastern New Brunswick.
Okay.
If you can get to us, we'll see you. And telehealth makes that a lot easier because we can access virtual services really anywhere. The nice thing with that too is as our clients start to age out, graduate from high school and go to university, they can stay with us through virtual services as well. So yeah, it's really opened the doors for us to move beyond southeastern New Brunswick. It increases the demand a whole lot. But yeah, if you can access us, then you're going to get support from Atlantic Wellness. So.
That's back to that funding piece.
Yeah, that's right.
Please
Looking
send
at you,
money.
Northern New Brunswick.
Yeah. Send more money.
Well, more money equals more services.
That's right.
And that's what we all want.
Yeah,
Because
that's right.
it's a vital service to the community to be able to offer, like you say, free, basically immediate, in terms of the healthcare system, access to care.
Yeah.
Right? That's when it's your health, you need help now, whether that's mental or physical. But
That's right. And
I
we're
won't
going
come
to
to you with my broken arm stories.
We're going to keep, you know, trying to expand. You know, we're about to head into our next strategic planning session and looking to the future. And so looking at whether we satellite to different locations or whether we expand virtual services. Lots of things that we want to look at moving forward, and there's a ton of opportunity, and this new space is going to provide us the chance to really look at where are the gaps and how can Atlantic Wellness help fill that. So.
All right, so quick reminder, October 21st, Monster Trot, Moncton Coliseum. Get your tickets in advance on Eventbrite. Tickets only needed for the kids who are going to trick-or-treat. If you're going along as an adult, you don't have to buy a ticket.
You can
Although
donate, though.
Yeah, you can make a donation. You can go on the website to make donations as well at any time.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do people find the website and access you here?
Socials. Yeah.
You can find us online at atlanticwellness.org. All of our social media is linked there, or you can call us at 382-0298. 506. We have to say the area code
Yes, we
now,
do.
don't
That's
Yeah,
right.
you have
Area
to dial
code
the 506.
506-382-0298.
This just became a telethon.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Anytime. We're here
For
for
the
it.
next 10 minutes, you can receive a lovely bonus gift of a high five.
And a round of applause. Yeah. Andrew, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure.
It is. And congratulations again on the new location.
Thank you so much.